friend Gordon Fowler is a powerhouse. He's the president and CEO of marketing and advertising firm Threefold Communications in Sacramento, California, and is one of those people who cannot not excel. He lived in multiple countries before landing here, so he's got a global view of things that I've always loved. He thinks big, achieves bigger, believes the idea of finding balance is a myth, has a razor-sharp wit, and is the one person I can always count on to tell me a single concept that'll inform my every move for years to come. When I first met him 20-plus years ago, he was managing 7,000 people in the government sector. But in 2004, he turned his laser focus to fulfilling his dream of owning his own marketing company. 9 years later, Threefold Communications has become an award-winning, multi-million-dollar agency and a leader in socially conscious marketing. I adore Gordon for who he is, what he does, and the mark he leaves in the world and in my heart. Here to share some of that business savvy, I am delighted to welcome Gordon Fowler.
Hey everybody, welcome to the chat with Karen Hutton. Sound bite-sized insights from some of the coolest people on the planet.
Score.
Yeah, Gordon Fowler at Threefold Communications in Sacramento, California, one of the most awesome marketing firms in the world.
You go, girl.
I'm telling you, I did it all by myself. First of all, you started in advertising and marketing, and you always wanted to get back. So you took a job, as I recall, with a firm in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And you did that, and you were like, oh my God, I'm home.
Yes.
That lasted for about 15 minutes.
Yes.
And then you said, oh my God, I've got to have my own firm.
I have to break free.
I have to break free and fly. So you went from there, and you brought one person from that firm who believed in the vision. The vision!
Yep.
And you came to California, and you started this company with
$10,000 in the den of my house. Dialing for dollars.
Yes, you did.
And started working it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, cut to now.
Multi-million, working in 25 states, and really blessed.
Yeah.
We've worked our selves to death.
Yeah, we really mean
We really.
yeah, to death. But here you are.
Yeah.
I want to start here with, yeah, you've worked yourself to death, but along the way you've developed some working, we don't use the word balance. A lot of people, now see, a lot of people I know.
Bad word at Threefold.com.
Yeah, and why? Because, okay, first of all, let me say that where I kind of spend my time, I hear a lot of people talking about, oh my God, I'm working myself to the bone. You know, this single entrepreneur artistic life, it's just 50,000 hours a day, and I have to confess I'm kind of that part of that crowd.
We call that the Joan of Arc creative.
Yeah.
It's very martyr oriented.
Yeah, very martyr based, unfortunately. Yeah, and some of it is.
There's a statue for that.
Is there really?
Yeah, you can earn a Joan of Arc statue.
Here?
Yeah.
Can I just have one?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you. I think I've earned it. And so me and a lot of other people are trying to learn how to work better and smarter and make it all count more. But the way people often think of it is in terms of balance. And you don't think of it that way.
I don't. I think balance is a self-defeating concept.
Why?
Because it's impossible to achieve.
Yeah.
It is.
I know.
So what happens
I know this firsthand.
Right. So what happens is every day you get up and you go, okay, got to balance my life. I've got home, I've got social, I've got me, my growth, and I've got company. And it is impossible to make that happen. The advent of technology, just how work and business collide, all of that makes it impossible to achieve balance. So what happens is, as the Joan of Arc statue wearers, we get to go to bed every night going, God, I failed again.
Yeah.
And probably about 5 years ago.
If you go to bed.
If you go to bed at 2:30 in the morning.
Or 4.
Yeah, or 4.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah. But probably about 5 years ago, I recognized that I was not going to ever get to feel good about myself because I would always fail. And I started thinking about it, and I have 3 boys, and that keeps me very, very busy, and I have a growing business, and that keeps me very busy. And I sort of stumbled on the concept of work-life rhythm. So balance can't be achieved. I just don't believe that it can.
Right.
But rhythm can. And I found that when my boys, the one thing, and my boys.
Yeah. Fantastic.
They're the best.
They are.
But we're very organized as a family. We have to be because we have so much going on. And so Sundays, 4 o'clock, we sit down and we call out the tempo of the next week. Like It's a sprint, it's a canter, it's a gallop, it's a walk. And what that does is allow us to realize that if it's a sprint week, that means it's going to be busy at work and busy at home and busy from social commitments. And so we go into it understanding that, meaning that we're just going to all be on a run. The challenge is, if it's a slow week, not to make it a sprint week. I mean, that's really where the challenge comes down. Yeah. But if you can just think about it in terms of rhythm, then you will never get defeated at the end of the day, because you know from the outset, you've called out ahead, it's just going to be a sprint.
Huh. So what happens when, you know how you're always backed up? There's always stuff you didn't get done?
I don't know, because that doesn't happen.
How so?
Because I've called it out. So if I know that it's a slow jog week, I'm only going to schedule slow jog activities.
Interesting.
I'm not going to get backed up. Backed up is a bad thing.
Yeah, on many levels.
As we get older, it's a problem.
It is. That's really good, because that's not how a lot of people think about it.
And it's taking charge and being proactive of your week. And people think I can't, like I'm subject to, the driver's external influences.
Right.
Then you're running a reactive business as a creative. And why are you doing that? You might as well go back into the world of bosses where you have to be reactive every day.
And I think a boss would probably be arrested and sued. I don't have to be arrested, but we could sue them for treating us the way we treat ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's just,
And we're as important.
What is the 2-hour thing?
So when I was developing this concept for work-life rhythm, I realized that I spend so much of my day in meetings, in sales pitches, meeting with my team, that I'm never getting work done.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, after however much time, you've been in meetings for 10 hours, then I have to get my real work done, which makes another 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
So I block off, I have a floating block on my calendar, 5 days a week, that's a 2-hour block. And I always keep intact a 2-hour block. Now, based on when meetings are scheduled or whatever is going on, I'll move that block. Sometimes it's between 8 and 10 in the morning, sometimes between 1 and 3, sometimes between 3 and 5. But that block is holy, and I save that block to get actual work done, not to hold a meeting, do something. It's work that I have to get done.
Not social, not
No.
Google Plus, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff.
No, it's my time to get my work done.
So that you don't have to work until all hours of the night.
Right. And if I do work till all hours of the night, it's a choice. It's because I want to, not because I have to. And if you are constantly doing have to stuff, you'll burn out.
Yep. And you just can't. You just can't burn out.
So 2-hour block.
2-hour block is
super easy.
Genius. These are the kind of conversations Gordon and I have had over the years that I go home and I go, that's really
Put in a
smart.
2-hour block.
Exactly. It changes my life. He's like, I don't think I've ever changed your life. I'm like, yeah, you have. So many conversations like this over the years. So what, I don't know, that kind of covers part of the question about what 3 things could you tell, quick.
I have one more.
Do you?
Do you want one?
Yes, I do.
Deep.
Give it to me.
It's deep. I'm the Gordon Chopra of business productivity. I only ever set 2 goals. Now, I may have a running to-do list, but I only set 2 must-accomplish goals per day.
Really? So you don't have a long to-do list?
I could, but of that, I only have 2 goals to accomplish per day. One personal and one professional. And the reason for that is, if you're working just off a to-do list, you get to feel terrible about yourself because you will never get it done. You just can't. So I will list a personal and a professional goal. So if it's a professional goal, it might be, writing something or reviewing a campaign or something that's in my daily job. And then a personal goal, get the laundry done, buy groceries for the week. And I always get to check those off, and I always accomplish them. So what that allowed me to have the freedom to look back and go, every single day I've accomplished something.
So do you find that makes you more efficient? You're getting more done that way?
Yeah.
It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah, it is. But I do get more done that way. I always get those 2 things done. And I don't have a day where I look back on the day. If that's my mother, tell her no. I'm busy right now.
No, Mom.
No, Mom.
Not now. Okay.
In a moment.
Yeah.
But not now.
Yeah. You're in my 2-hour block. Back off. So, did you finish?
No, I was going to say, so before Mom interrupted.
Yeah.
more important psychologically
Yeah.
to know I don't ever and have not had a day where I've had to look back and say, what did I accomplish that day? I've always accomplished 2 things. So again, it's just makes me feel productive. And
Yeah.
imagine, I just don't look back and ever feel like I never accomplished something. I've always accomplished 2
I've
things.
started doing the thing recently where I go 2 things, but they're usually business things.
Yeah.
And then personal is extra. But even that feels like an advancement. It feels scary because it's like, I'm not going to get everything done, but I find I'm being more efficient.
Right.
But then I forget, and then I do 50,000 things in a day again.
Yeah.
So it's a new habit that.
And the reason I started doing personal things is because those happen to be the things that would eat at me the most.
Right. That makes sense. So how do you think an entrepreneurial artist, creative person can make social networks work better for them?
They can be genuine on them, share genuine information. What I see on social networks a lot, and I'm pretty involved in several of them, is that people are either not original thinkers or they're not genuine in their sharing.
Oh,
So they
interesting.
either take the easy way or they take the safe way.
Give an example of like a genuine sharing that you think works.
Sharing how you accomplish something or how to do something versus that you did it. Because I could tell you that I did it.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not gross, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're
It's
saying.
very egocentric
Yeah.
and not good. But if I share with you how I did it,
Yeah.
now I've provided a value. That's genuine.
And your process, whether for good or for bad, not like, oh, I'm so great and this is what I did, and that's,
Yeah, gross.
Really gross. Okay, so this whole thing about community.
Yeah.
I say this whole thing because you really have a very clear idea about community, the importance of it, and how investing your time in the community absolutely gives back to your business in a very direct way.
It does.
So,
So our mission, we're an ad agency.
Yeah.
And our mission is contributing to thriving communities. And then our vision is beat the competition. No, I'm kidding.
and yet,
Am I?
yeah.
It's so important for us to be socially responsible. And as a business, we are very socially responsible. Everybody that works at Threefold is required to serve on a nonprofit board in an area of influence. Everybody's required to donate 10% of their time. We
Wow.
donate 10% of our income, because giving back
That's tithing.
It's tithing. We call it community tithing. It's a
Wow.
line item in our budget. Because giving back, I felt, was just very 1980s. So we give first. So we have a give first model, which we do off the top. And we care about causes in our community. And, we're on this corner here in this old reconverted bank building.
Yeah, with a vault.
With a vault
A
that
working
stores
vault.
alcohol.
Oh, it's a beer thing. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'll show it to you. It's amazing.
Beer on tap.
Beer on
Employee
tap.
retention policy. Yeah. But we actually believe that we can change this community from this corner.
Wow.
And in so doing, we've reached out, we've gotten to know people, and we've done it from a healthy, selfish perspective.
Explain that.
So healthy, selfish to me means so many times, particularly creatives, who I am one, and so I love my peeps. But we have this again martyr complex about I've got this talent, so people ask me to do it for free, so I'll do it for free,
Yeah.
and I'll unselfishly give, and then I'll be blessed, or it'll come back around, good karma, that type of thing. I don't believe that. I believe that can happen.
Yeah.
But I believe that we're called to be smart creatives. And so to be a smart creative, you have to be healthy selfish.
Right.
Healthy selfish means I'll give with the intention of getting something back. And the intention of getting something back leads me to do well. Because if I do well, then I can do good in my community. If I'm not doing well, I'm not going to be able to do good. So I call it more money, more mission.
I love it. So how do you, I've heard you explain this, and maybe you just did, but I want to hear it a different way, so you choose where you're going to give,
Yeah,
but you're also getting back directly.
right.
And
So we're strategic about, I call it healthy selfish, but the
Right.
bottom line is we're strategic. So
Yeah.
we will give our time to a nonprofit because we will have looked at that board of directors and seen on that board that there's somebody we want to do business with. We still are giving. We give wholeheartedly. We're
Yeah.
in it to make a difference and to get some business from somebody on that board of directors.
so that's taking it an extra step. You can find a cause that you want to give to and give freely, but there's nothing wrong with also finding a cause that one step further aligns with where you want to go.
I think it all should.
Yeah.
Like, we have to
But
be
a lot of people
strategic.
don't think that way.
No. I mean, I have a friend that has a business that is starting to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very much into yellow Labrador rescue, and he owns a technology firm. And I told him, unless they're coming up with some technology to put, some chip in every yellow Labrador in America, why are you doing that? And he's like, because I love dogs. I'm like, then do that in your extra free time, which you don't have, because you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
So what that means is you need to be serving on this board or that board, because they're potential investors, or they're still give. It's still.
So you keep he keeps his cause in mind and then tries to align with it
He needs to.
a different way.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. I have always found that, because I've had a number of different businesses in my life, that the times I really went at it without a team and without community, that whole thing, when it was just me in a vacuum, the success of that business was never, ever really what it is now, where there is community and there is support and there is all those things. So that's something I don't think a lot of artists think about. They just kind of get in their zone.
Yeah.
So I have this part of the show I like to do, random questions.
Rapid
where-
fire. Random.
Rapid fire. And neither one of us are really good at rapid fire. You are good, actually, when you focus on it, but we have a tendency to make it a marathon.
So not rapid fire, like ramble fire.
Ramble fire.
Ramble fire, random questions with Karen.
Ramble. What one thing do you know for sure at this point? I know that changes over time.
It does.
But at this point in time, what do you know for sure?
Is you have to have a belief that you can do it better.
Yeah.
You'll figure out the way. If you know you can do it better, then you'll be successful.
And you
just have to find a
and
way.
you know what? You don't even have to know how you can do it better.
That you can do it better.
Exactly.
Okay, it's interesting. Like, every entrepreneur that I've met that's successful has reached a couple of conclusions. The first is, I know that I can do it better. I don't know how, but I know that I can do it better.
Yeah.
Love that. Second thing that every successful entrepreneur always talks about in that vein is that they just didn't want to work for anybody that was stupider than them. Can I say that?
Oh my God. I'm glad you did, because I always think it, but I never say it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's
Just
so true.
not one more day with this stupid person here.
No, not one
Yeah.
more. No, minus days on that. Gordon Fowler, I love you.
I love you.
Mwah. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you
And
for doing this show. I think it's important.
I think it's really important. I think the show has a lot to offer, and I think you're one of the major reasons why. So, folks, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next fantastic episode of The Chat. In the meantime, say goodbye to Gordon Fowler. We might be back.
See ya.
Bye.